Uh, Now today I will deliver my lecture on the biological process itself, but in detail as per your syllabus curriculum, say for activated sludge process, one of the suspended growth process in the biological treatment in secondary treatment of wastewater I highlighted in my last lecture, if you remember. So that activated sludge process is a very traditional process, a biological process treatment, that is a secondary treatment process. I will discuss in details of this process. Fine. Now, generally, the conventional biological treatment, as I have mentioned in my last lecture, that is in the aerobic conditions. Uh, one is the suspended growth process and is the attached growth process. The example of suspended growth process, if you remember, I have told you regarding that activated sludge process ASP, which will be discussed today, and the attached growth process I have mentioned about the trickling filter. Now, this ASP, the suspended growth process, that means where the biomass are in suspended condition in the wastewater. This treatment process, it is first developed in 1984 in England, and after that it acquired a tremendous popularity in the treatment of the wastewater. Now, the activated sludge process, it is nothing but consists of a aeration tank where the organic matter is stabilized by the action of the bacteria under the aeration, and along with the aeration tank there is a secondary sedimentation tank SST is located where the biomass settled, that is the sludge is settled, and the clear effluent goes out from that sedimentation tank. Not only that, from this sedimentation tank, the settled sludge, the active settled sludge, is recycled again to the aeration tank for performing the treatment. So that's why it is named as the activated sludge process. Why? The active sludge portion, inactive sludge, it is wasted out from the SST. That means the secondary sedimentation tank. But the active portion we are again recirculated into the tank. So that is the basic philosophy why it is named as the activated sludge process, because the activated sludge portion we are recirculating in the tank again in the aerosol tank. So recycling is necessary for activated sludge process. The aeration conditions, we'll discuss in details what are the mechanisms we are following the aeration. Like two systems are there. One is the diffuse aeration and another is the mechanical aeration. That systems will be discussed in details. Now the diffusers are provided generally at the bottom. If we say about the diffuse aeration system in the aeration tank, then these diffusers are located at the tank bottom. In opposite of that, the mechanical aerators are provided at the surface of the water, either floating or in fixed support, that I will show you in the diagram. Now, the settled raw waste water and the return sludge enter the head of the tank and cross the tank following the spiral flow pattern in case of diffuse aeration, and get completely mixed in case of completely mixed reactor. So there are the two flow regimes is there. One is the plug flow, another is the completely mixed flow, that I will definitely discuss in detail. First of all, the air supply may be tapered along the length in case of the plug flow, and it will be uniform in case of the completely mixed. Now, what is the significance of the plug flow? The plug flow implies that the sewage moves down progressively along the aeration tank, essentially unmixed with the rest of the tank contents. That is the basic philosophy of the plug flow. That means it is not mixed in compared with the completely mixed. So it is progressively along the aeration length of the tank, along the length of the aeration tank, it is progressively moves down, and it is unmixed with the contents of the rest of the contents of the tank. But in case of the completely mixed, it involves the rapid dispersal of the incoming sewage throughout the tank. So we can say that in the plug flow system, the F by M and oxygen demand will be highest at the inlet end of the aeration tank and will then progressively decrease. But in case of the completely mixed system, the F by M and oxygen demand will be uniform throughout the tank as it is completely mixed system. So this is the philosophy I have in brief I have told you regarding that the concept of the plug flow and the completely mixed flow regime, the flow regime condition. Now let us see the figure, how the schematic diagram of the conventional activated sludge process. This is the very important schematic diagram. You must be acquainted with this diagram. Now you see the return sludge. One unit is the aeration tank, that is called the reactor, that is the biological reactor where the civilization of the organic matter takes place. And when the with this water the sludge flows comes to the next, that circular tank, that is the settling tank, SST, secondary sedimentation tank we are calling it. Here the sludge is settled and the clear effluent goes out, and this sludge which is precipitated, the inactive portion wasted out, and the active portion we are again recirculating into the tank. You see that return sludge I have shown by arrow. This again it is recirculated to aeration tank for providing the performance of the reactor. So this is the conventional system, that is the schematic diagram how the operation takes place in the activated sludge process. Fine. Now let me discuss the loading rate. What is loading rate? Now the loading rate means the organic matter loading rate, that is the carbonaceous organic matter which is to be removed from the wastewater, that is the pollutant. So organic matter loading rate, which is given by in fact the organic matter is given by BOD. So the kg of BOD applied per unit volume of the reactor, that is called the volumetric loading rate. Again I am repeating, the kg of BOD, that is the organic matter, kg of BOD per unit volume of the reactor. So this is called the volumetric loading rate. And if you see the kg of BOD applied per day per unit mass of organism, then it is called the organic loading rate. What is that? F by M. F means the organic matter, that is the food to the microorganism, so it is denoted as F. And what is M? M is microorganism, so F by M is the designated by loading rate. This is called the organic loading rate. So what we have come to know, there are two types of loading rate. One is the volumetric loading rate, that is the kg of BOD per volume of the tank or volume of the reactor, I would say. This is called the volumetric loading rate. And another loading rate is, that is the organic loading rate, that is nothing but the organic matter vis-a-vis, we can call it a food, because this organic matter is food to the organism. So food divided by the microorganism, this is called the organic loading rate. So there are two types of loading rate. Now when I talk about the volumetric loading rate, so if the flow of the water is known to us, that is Q is known to us, and BOD is always milligram per liter, that is milligram per flow. So if you multiply the total flow which is supplied in the aerated aeration tank for treatment, that flow that discharge into the BOD will give you the total BOD in terms of weight, that is in terms of the kg. And if you divide by volume, so you will get it the volumetric loading rate. So volumetric loading rate, we can write discharge, that is Q into BOD divided by volume. Volumetric loading rate is given by the equation Q into BOD by volume. Why Q into BOD? Because once you multiply the BOD with the discharge, you will get the total BOD in terms of the weight, mass, kg, divided by the volume, that is the meter cube, will give the volumetric loading rate. Fine. Now coming to the organic loading rate, F by M. What is F? F is nothing but the food, and that food is nothing but the BOD, that is the organic matter. How the organic matter weight, how will you obtain the numerator? That is simply the discharge into BOD, that will give the total BOD in kg, that is the organic matter, that is the food we can say. And what is the M? M is nothing but the biomass. That is the total biomass. MLSS, if you MLVSS, if you can say is milligram per liter, then it will be multiplied with the volume of the reactor. So while calculating the mass of the BOD, we will calculate the discharge with the BOD, but while calculating the biomass, we will calculate the concentration of the biomass with the volume of the reactor, because the biomass presence in the reactor. So whenever we are going to find out the total biomass, we have to multiply the biomass concentration with the volume of the reactor. That things you have to keep in mind. So that has to be carefully kept in mind. So where the concentration means, I mean to say the MLVSS. What is MLVSS? It is average taken as 80% of the MLSS. MLVSS concentration in MLVSS means mixed liquor volatile suspended solid. Approximately considered 80% of the MLSS. Now the F by M ratio is the main factor of controlling BOD removal. Lower F by M ratio will give higher BOD removal. Why? Because if lower F by M ratio means microorganism is more, food is less. What does it mean? So more microorganism means more treatment will be done. And if by F by M ratio is more, that means F by M ratio is more means the microorganism is less. So lower F by M ratio values will give higher BOD removal. So the F by M can be varied by varying MLVSS concentration in the aeration tank. So I have given you the idea of the loading rate, that is the volumetric loading rate and the organic loading rate. Now a very important parameter I am going to deliver you, that is the solid retention time, or it can be told as mean cell residence time, that is MCRT. What is this? This is very important parameter in designing of the biological reactor. So what is solid retention time or mean cell residence time, that is SRT or MCRT are the same thing, because why the significance of this SRT and MCRT, because this is so important parameter, because the performance of the activated sludge process, the aeration tank, performance of the ASP in removal of the organic matter depends on the solid retention time. How? Because the duration for which the microbial mass will be retained in the system. What is solid retention time? It denotes the duration of which the microbial mass is retained in the system. That means more the time it will retain in the system, more effective removal process will be taken up. So MCRT, SRT is more means the retention time of the solid mass of the biomass is more in the tank. So definitely it will affect the efficiency removal. So more SRT means the removal efficiency will be more. So the retention of the sludge depends on the settling rate of the sludge in the SST. So we have to take an observation how the settling rate of the sludge is taking place in the SST, that is the secondary sedimentation tank. Because settling rate, if the settling rate of the sludge is well, then the SST in the SST, if the settling of the sludge is well, if it is observed, then the proper recirculation of the sludge in the aeration tank can be possible, and it will help maintaining the desired SRT in the system. So all SRT depends on the settling characteristics of the sludge in the SST. If it is not that, then the sludge has a poor settling property, then it will not settle in SST, and recirculation of the sludge will be difficult, and so the maintaining, so it may reduce the SRT in the system, so it may affect the efficiency in the system of the tank. So SRT can be defined as in numerical relation, that is kg of MLVSS in aeration tank, that we know, divided by kg of VSS wasted per day plus kg of VSS lost in effluent per day. Now kg of VSS lost in effluent per day, this quantity is very small compared to the artificial wasting of sludge carried out from the sludge recycle time. So this can be neglected. Mostly the kg of SRT depends on the ratio of kg of MLVSS in the aerosol tank divided by the kg of VSS wasted per day. So that will be the duration, that will give the duration of the retained portion of that biomass. Now, the sludge volume index. Sludge volume index will give the characteristics of the sludge settled in the SST. So this is a parameter by which we can conclude whether the sludge characteristics is good or bad. That means SRT can be obtained better value or lesser value. Now the quantity of the return sludge is determined by volumetric basis. Now the sludge volume index is the volume of the sludge in milliliter for 1 gram of dry unit suspended solids. Sludge, what is sludge? Sludge is a mixture of liquid and solid. So the corresponding volume of the sludge will give the sludge volume index which contains 1 gram of solid in the sludge. That means 1 gram of dry weight of the suspended solid, that corresponding volume will give the sludge volume index, but it is measured after 30 minutes of settling. That means after half an hour after settling, if we measure the in an EMOF cone, there is an EMOF cone, so the sludge volume corresponding to the dry weight of the solid 1 gram will give the sludge volume index, and this sludge volume index varies from 50 to 150 milliliter per gram of SS. That is the suspended solid, 1 gram suspended per gram of suspended solid. So that volume is give the sludge volume index, and it is generally varies from 50 to 150. Now the lower sludge volume index, better settling of sludge. Why lower sludge volume index, better settling of sludge? Because lower sludge volume index means in the sludge volume the content of the portion of the solid is more. That means denominator is more, so SVI is less. So since denominator is more, that means the solid portion is more, and if solid portion is more in the sludge volume, then we can say that it is a better settling of sludge occurring. Now, quantity of return sludge. Usually solid concentration of about 1500 to 3000 milligram per liter MLVSS. As I told you in the beginning, MLVSS is considered as 80% of the MLSS, that is mixed liquid suspended solid, that is the biomass, is maintained in conventional ASP, and 3000 to 6000 milligram per liter for completely mixed ASP. So accordingly, the quantity of return sludge is determined to maintain this concentration, because we have to make up the concentration of the biomass, which is maintained 1500 to 3000 in the conventional, and in mixed ASP is 3000 to 6000. To make up these things, accordingly we have to recirculate the activated sludge from the SST. So this quantity has to be adjusted to maintain this concentration. Now the sludge return ratio is normally 20 to 50%, and the F by M ratio is kept as, that is the organic loading rate is kept as 0.2 to 0.4 for conventional ASP, and for completely mixed reactor, that is 0.2 to 0.6. Now what is sludge bulking? Very, very important. That means when the sludge does not settle well in sedimentation tank, so it is called, there is a sludge bulking. When sludge, it is found that it does not settle well in the sedimentation tank, that means the bulking of sludge appears. What does it indicate? It is due to the growth of filamentous microorganisms which do not allow desirable compaction. Due to filamentous growth of the microorganism, the compactness of this sludge will not be obtained. That is one of the reasons in formation of the sludge bulking. And another reason is the production of non-filamentous, highly hydrated biomass, which will create the sludge bulking. And why this thing happens? Because of the toxic substance present, maybe the toxic substance present, or the lowering of temperature, or insufficient aeration, or fluctuations of flow, seasonal fluctuations like shock loading can also cause sludge bulking. Now, proper supply of air and proper design of maintenance endurance growth phase of the metabolism, as we have discussed in the last lecture, it will not produce bulking of sludge if it can be maintained, and it can be controlled by restoring proper air supply, eliminating shock loading, and increasing temperature of the wastewater, and small hypochlorite HOCl dosing to the return sludge line to avoid growth of filamentous hygroscopic microorganisms. Now, the mixing conditions, as I have told you, in the aeration tank, we are following the two mixing conditions. One is the plug flow type, another is the completely mixed type. Now, in the plug flow type, the F by M and the oxygen demand will be highest at the inlet and of the aeration tank, and it will then progressively decrease throughout the length of the tank. But in the completely mixed system, we have seen the F by M, that is the organic loading rate, and the oxygen demand will be uniform throughout the tank. Now, the flow scheme. Now, the sewage addition may be done at a single point, or it may be done at the several points. So that is the flow scheme I am going to highlight. Now, sludge return is carried out from the underflow of the settling tank, that is the SST tank, to the aeration tank. Sludge wastage can be done from the return sludge line or from the aeration tank itself. Sludge wasting from the aeration tank will have better control over the process. However, higher sludge waste volume need to be handled in the case of due to lower concentration as compared to the when wasting is done from the underflow of SST. Now, the aeration of ASP, that is the active research process, the aeration can be done in 3 ways. 3 systems can be, aeration units can be followed. One is the diffused air units that I will describe. Then the mechanical aeration units, that also I will describe, and combined mechanical and diffused air units. So these 3 systems are followed in case of the aeration in the tank. Now let us discuss about the diffused aeration. Now, what is diffused aeration? There are the diffusers. So their diffusers are placed at the bottom of the rectangular channel tank. Now these diffusers are provided at the bottom, but air before passing to this diffuser must pass through the air filter so that this diffuser should not be blocked, and the required pressure by compressor is maintained while passing the air. By means of air compressor, that pressure has to be maintained, pressure has to be controlled by means of the air compressor to the diffuser when the air we are passing. Now, the types of air diffuser, there are 2 types of diffuser. One is the jet diffusers and second one is the porous diffusers. What is the jet diffusers? Now, these diffusers are direct stream of air in the form of jet downwards and strike against a small bowl kept just below the nozzle of the jet. So this is one type of jet diffusers I have told you, but mostly we are using the porous diffusers, and these porous these are manufactured mainly from the tubes and plates from grains of crushed quartz, aluminum oxide, carbon used to form the porous structure, and it may be tile shaped or the tubular shaped. 10 to 20% area of the tank is covered with the porous tiles, and the air is supplied through pipeline laid in the floor of the tank and is controlled by the valve. Now, in common practice, the porous porous dome type air diffusers of 10 to 20 centimeter diameters are used, and these diffusers are fixed at the top of CI main pipe laid at the bottom of the aeration tanks, as per the economy is constant to maintain the low maintenance cost. Now, normally the air supplied under the pressure 0.55 to 0.7 kg per centimeter square. It is maintained. Now the oxygen transfer capacity of the aerators depend on the size of the air bubbles. For fine bubble, oxygen transfer capacity of aeration is 0.7 to 1.4 kg O2 per kilowatt hour. For medium bubble, 0.6 to 1 kg O2 per kilowatt hour. For coarse bubble, 0.3 to 0.9 kg O2 per kilowatt hour. So these things we have to know the coarse, medium, and I mean to say the fine, medium, and coarse bubble, the corresponding aeration capacity. I have just given you the idea. This is about the diffuser system of aeration I have talked about. Now coming to the portion of the mechanical aeration system. Now main objective of mechanical aeration system is to bring every time new surface of wastewater in contact with water. In diffuse aeration, we have seen that 5 to 12% of the total quantity of air is compressed, is utilized for oxidation, and the rest for providing for mixing. So the mechanical aeration was developed where the surface aerators, either fixed or floating type, can be used. I will show you the photographs how it can be fixed with a supporting system. The rectangular aeration tanks are divided into square tank, and each square tank is provided with one mixture. So one impeller, the impeller are so adjusted that when electric motor starts, they shock the switch from the center. With or without support, I will show you the photograph with support system, and after sucking out, they throw it in the form of a thin spray over the surface of the wastewater. Then the wastewater is sprayed in the air so that the wastewater, surface wastewater, the voluminous surface wastewater could have come in the contact with the air, surface air. So more surface area of the wastewater is brought in contact with the air. That is the facility in this mechanical aeration system, and the aeration will occur at accelerated rate. Detention period generally 5 to 8 hours are considered. Volume of the aeration tank should be worked out considering the return sludge volume. You see the driving motor here in photographs. The impeller I have shown you in the top. So it sprays the water. Arrow shown, the circulated arrow shown that it sprays the water to the impeller and suck from the bottom. So it is basically uptake tube, supported by uptake tube. So in supporting condition, the impeller is supported. Now this typical arrangement of surface aerator supported on conical bottom tube, that has been shown in the photographs and how it works. Now types of activated sludge process. Let me discuss in details about that biological process. In conventional ASP, that is the activated sludge process, the flow model is generally the plug flow type, because in this plug flow type, as I have told you, the influent wastewater and the recycled sludge enter at the head, that is at the inlet of the tank, at the head, and are aerated for about 5 to 6 hours for sewage treatment. The influent and recycled sludge are mixed by the action of the diffusers or mechanical aerators. The rate of aeration is constant throughout the length of the tank, and during the aeration period, the absorption, population, oxidation of organic matter takes place. Now, what is the organic loading? That is the F/M ratio is considered in this type of design. That is 0.2 to 0.4 BOD per kg VSS, and volumetric loading rate, as we have seen, that VOD into the Q divided by the volume of the tank. Volumetric loading rate is maintained 0.3 to 0.6 kg BOD per meter cube of the tank. This is the consideration in the design in this ASP tank is being considered. Now, lower mixed liquor suspended solid concentration is maintained in the aeration tank from the range of 1500 to 3000 milligram per liter. Mean cell residence time vis-a-vis the solid retention side, solid SRT is being considered 5 to 15 days. The hydraulic detention time, that is the 4 to 8 hours, is maintained in the sewage treatment. And higher the hydraulic detention time, the industrial wastewater having higher BOD concentration. For treatment of the industrial wastewater which contains the higher BOD concentration, for that the HRT should be higher. And the sludge circulation ratio normally in the range of 0.25 to 0.5. So these considerations, these are the consideration in the design of the ASP tank, that is the aeration tank. Now you see the SST, the sludge circulation is there, recirculation is there, aeration tank. I am just considering this is a plug flow tank, conventional activity sludge process. Now the tapered aeration, this is the uniform aeration I have just talked to you. Now the tapered aeration, one of the another aeration is tapered aeration, that also system I will show you in the photographs, in the figures. Now in plug flow type aeration tank, BOD load is maximum in the inlet, as we have seen, and it reduces the wastewater moves towards the effluent end. So accordingly, the tapered aeration, that means the maximum air is needed at the inlet, and it should be decreased towards the, it should be reduced in steps towards the end. So this is called the tapered aeration. And the photograph will give you the, this photograph, you see the inlet portion, the aeration should be more, and by step it has been reduced towards the end, that is the towards the effluent portion. Hence it is called the tapered aeration, as you can see from this figure. Okay, tapered aeration activated sludge process I am just showing you. So by tapered aeration, the efficiency of the aeration unit will be increased, and it will also result in overall economy, because throughout my aeration may not be equal. So we can reduce the economy by reducing the aeration in step aeration unit. So the F by M ratio and the volumetric loading rate. What is the F by M ratio kept in this type of situation? 0.2 to 0.4 kg BOD by VSS, and the volumetric loading ratio maintained is 0.3 to 0.6 kg BOD per meter cube tank. Other design recommendation: mean cell residence time 5 to 15 days, MLSS maintained 1500 to 3000, HRT maintained 4 to 8 hours, and the sludge recirculation ratio 0.25 to 0.5. Although the design loading rates are similar to conventional ASP, tapered aeration gives better performance because the aeration has been provided efficiently. Now the step aeration, we can talk about the step aeration. Now if the switch is added at more than 1 point, if more than 1 point the switch is added along the aeration channel, then it is called the step aeration, because this will reduce the load on return sludge. The aeration will be uniform throughout the tank. The F by M ratio will be 0.2 to 0.4 in case of step aeration, and volumetric loading 0.6 to 1 kg BOD per meter cube tank in case of step aeration. And other design recommendations are mean cell residence time, that is 5 to 15 days in case of step aeration. MLSS maintained 2000 to 3500, HRT maintained 3 to 5 hours, and sludge recirculation ratio is 0.25 to 0.5. So in step aeration, the design loading loads are slightly higher than the conventional ASP because of reduction of organic load on the return sludge, it gives better performance. So this is the diagram of the step aeration units, because you see there are various inlet points where the switch is entered into the tank, not only a single point but other points. So the step aeration system is there. So this is a step aeration activated sludge process I am just showing you. Now the completely mixed reactor I am going to tell. So as the name indicates, the aeration tank completely mixed flow regime is used. That means the wastewater distributed along with the return sludge uniformly from one side of the tank, and it is uniformly distributed, and the effluent is collected at other end of the tank. So one side the effluent entered into the tank, influent entered into the tank, and the other end effluent is collected. And throughout the length of the tank, the wastewater is distributed along the return sludge uniformly. And in this completely mixed reactor, the organic loading rate like F/M ratio is maintained 0.2 to 0.6 kg BOD by kg VSS. Volumetric loading rate maintained 0.8 to 2 kg BOD by meter cube reactor. And higher mixed liquor suspended solid like 3000 to 6000 milligram per liter, and mean cell residence time 5 to 15, and hydrogen retention time also 3 to 5 years, 5 hours is required for sewage treatment. This higher retention time is required for treatment of basically the wastewater from industry, that is the industrial wastewater having higher BOD concentration. So the sludge recirculation ratio generally 0.25 to 1 is maintained, and this type of activated sludge process, that is the completely mixed reactor, has better capability to handle fluctuations in organic matter concentration, and if present toxic compounds also that it will handle, and basically it will be applicable for the industrial wastewater, not for the domestic purpose. So due to the property completely mixed ASP is being preferred in the industries where the fluctuations in wastewater characteristics is common. So this is the impeller I have shown you. The mixing condition, that is the impeller is showing for properly uniform mixing in the aeration tank. So it is a completely mixed reactor. So one side inlet from PST, the sludge is coming, influent is coming, and other side effluent is collected through the SST. So completely mixed activated sludge process I have just described to you. So this is all about the ASP, the consideration of design. I have told you the different parameter, that is the organic loading rate, volumetric loading rate, then the SRT solid retention time or mean cell residence time, HRT hydraulic retention time, then the aeration rate of different aeration system, diffuser, mechanical system of aeration I have talked with, and the flow condition, that is the plug flow and the mixed flow, different flow condition I have described. So I will students, I will post this lecture which I have delivered you today in the Google Classroom. Go to the lectures. We will be meeting in the live classroom, in Zoom classroom, for discussing one-to-one interaction, for clarifying your queries if any, and later on I will submit the tutorials, assignments, numericals for submitting from your end. So I will close it today. So thank you very much. Have a nice day to all.